Mhm. Hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Jana and I am from Czech Republic. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to such an extraordinary audience. Surely you ask why me and my husband, two cardiologists, were given this opportunity to comment your work on ABA. The answer lies in our son with autism. After getting completely let down by our so-called experts on autism, we started looking for answers to our question in our quest to helping our boy. Luckily, our medical background told us where to look for the evidence-based solution to our son's problem. We were put back and angered by the statement by one professor of child psychiatry in our country who claimed that in cases where nature will not take a positive course, when it comes to autism, it is doomed, and that is not bad after all to have a fool to keep the village entertained. Now these are the words of a leading expert in the Czech Republic. PubMed and Science Direct provided us with much needed clues and directions. The 2007 American Academy of Pediatrics recommendation caught our eye, and we were more convinced than ever that applied behavior analysis was the direction we were going to take. We were jubilant and euphoric when we got to know that very close to where we live in Prague was a lady with ABA background who studied her science at the Florida Institute of Technology. Her services were very costly, which wouldn't have mattered had it led to an improvement of our son's condition. What happened, on the contrary, was that he started to show problematic behavior patterns that he didn't have prior to attending this woman. We were wondering whether the science let us down as well. We were desperate, but kept on searching and found the website of BACB. We have easily found that this therapist has never been certified and just created her own method, which she was abashed to call ABA. This experience let off warning bells. We figured out that there were no certified behavior analysts in our country. Still worse, there wasn't even a core sequence to study the behavior science. You can surely imagine the shock, a complete ABA vacuum. The news of another woman claiming to provide ABA services after completing a week and crash course in Poland reached to us. So many behavior analysts, but where was the science? At that point, it became clear to us that if we want to introduce ABA as a science with the highest standards in the Czech Republic, we must strictly adhere to international professional standards, including ethics code. We wrote desperate emails calling for help. One would wonder who would nowadays offer you help based on a random email message. Well, it is comforting to know that there are still normal people left on planet Earth. Our first SOS message was addressed to EABA's Professor Carola Dillenberger, BCBAT. Her kind eyes and warm smile at her website prompted me to try and get in touch with her. And to our great surprise, she replied immediately, and together with her husband, Professor Mickey Keenan, BCBAD, have been accompanying us on the very bumpy and at times ugly and complicated, but yet successful way of introducing ABA into the Czech Republic. The second desperate email was addressed to President of BACB, Jim Carr, who forwarded our message to Neil Martin. His genuine support and advice have been invaluable. With their tremendous help, we have accomplished incredible achievements in a very short time. we managed to establish a study program running a certification board approved ABA core sequence at Masaryk University in Brno. We have translated the online Simple Steps material into Czech language, which we provide for free to families of newly positively screened children with autism in cooperation with the biggest health insurance company of the Czech Republic. Additionally, we have been able to pass a law establishing a new non-medical profession of behavior analyst, assistant, and RBT. In this law, we have explicitly defined the conditions and procedures of education and certification as per BACB rules and guidelines. Getting insurance coverage for ABA-based services in this country is now within close reach. It looks promising, but we are still facing many hardships. Understandably, Czech medical profession organizations currently not only ignores us, but where positively oppose us. They see us as a threat to status quo that have effectively maintained till now when it came to ASD children. Status quo was that these individuals are doomed, and it is not worth wasting limited funds on them. Perhaps they are scared that their inactivity, incompetence, and indifference towards autistic individuals might get exposed if they actively support us. Our worst nightmare we wanted to share with you, since it directly threatens the science you advocate, is individuals with no proper education, training, and qualifications calling themselves as experts in ABA. What is clear from the lesson mentioned above, that ABA therapists from FIT, is that only theoretical education in ABA is not sufficient. Therefore, the process of credentializing through certification by BACB, along with lifelong education and training, are essential to maintain the quality of services behavior analysts offer and prevent the science from being brought into disrepute by allowing non-professionals to deliver services they are not trained to do. But these are just individual cases. What, however, is systematically damaging our efforts are activities of a dual kind that I will try to describe to you. There are two foreign ABA groups moving around in our country, one Norwegian and the other one Polish. Everyone a bit differently. Let's take a look at the Norwegian group, which is a minor issue for us. The simplest is to characterize it as the dissemination of their own concept of ABA using often lots of aversives. These activities are often funded by Norwegians, grants, and so-called EEA grants. Regularly, non-certified Norwegian behavior therapists travel to a known Czech center to train staff. This Czech center actively cooperates also with the Czech pseudo-ABA group. Perhaps Norwegians act in a good faith, but inadvertently promote the pseudo-ABA, and they in turn use the training received from the Norwegians as propaganda to legitimize their pseudoscience. This practice is quite widespread. There are joint lecture sessions where the Norwegian non-certified behavior analysts deliver lectures alongside with Czech pseudo-ABA personnel. To the untrained eye, it may appear as one and the same. In reality, though Czech pseudos have no formal education or training in ABA whatsoever. One such pseudo approach is called OTA, Open Therapy of Autism, which its authors boldly compare to the early start Denver model without publishing of a single line anywhere in the literature. To our knowledge, Norwegian therapists do not issue any certificates to their Czech partners. The Polish group, on the other hand, operates differently in the Czech Republic and poses a serious danger to us given the geographical and linguistic proximity to us. Polish ABA has set far higher ambitions in our country. They are out in force not only to disseminate their concept of non-certified ABA, but also organize training, workshops, and issue certificates. What brings Norwegian and Polish branches together? It is the cooperation with the Czech pseudo-ABA group, which is very aggressive against us. They thought hard to try and block the law on a new non-medical profession of behavior analyst in the upper house of the Czech parliament. The Polish female ABA supervisor has even issued a written statement of support for the pseudo-behavior OTA method mentioned above, thus endangering not only our Simple Steps project, but the possibility of future ABA coverage by health insurance money. Such a gross betrayal of science she is expected to serve. We have just recently succeeded to put on hold a planned intensive course on Polish version of ABA delivered by the leading non-certified Polish ABA therapists. An invitation to participate in this course was distributed throughout the Czech Republic, including to all state-run early service centers and special educational centers. Certainly it will not be their last activity, since the interconnectedness of the Polish uncertified ABA with the Czech pseudo-ABA camp is strong and flourishing. What should be done with this? The role of BACB is indispensable in setting standards and conditions for certification and credentializing. The Association of Professional Behavior Analysts' actions and goals are very clear to me. Personally, I am a little confused with the role of ABA International, which appears to allow membership of any organization. There are two Polish organizations within ABA International, one of which adheres to BACB, the other one ignores BACB and keeps on threatening our efforts in the Czech Republic. It is absolutely clear that the role of the European Association for Behavior Analysis must be strengthened. European Association should clearly declare adherence to the BACB in terms of compliance with the standards and conditions for certifications. In order for ABA to get established in Europe, just as it had done in the US, one has to pay special attention to two important areas: language barrier and financial factors. Non-proficiency in English language prevents otherwise high-quality candidates from getting certified. High financial burden involved along the way to getting certified is putting off number of potentially promising therapists as well. ABA has hence earned the reputation of a science intended for the English-speaking and affluent few, which is a pity. Science and its progress set standards and requirements for both theoretical and practical education in medicine and my field of cardiology, as well as in ABA. Let me compare the situation to how it works in my field. The recommendation issued by the American College of Cardiology are accepted by the European Society of Cardiology, followed by issuance of its own recommendations that are accepted by organization at national level, in my case, the Czech Society of Cardiology. I can imagine the model where BACB is the supreme body for setting standards for education and certification, under which Association of Professional Behavior Analysts operates as an executive body of the US national associations. In Europe, this role is taken up by the European Association, and it sets out its recommendations in line with the BACB, which European Association of Behavior Analysts member organizations are bound to follow. In consideration would be to create our own European certification exams, again in line with BACB requirements, but financially and linguistically tailored to European conditions. In cardiology, we have a parallel. We have FACC, that means Fellow of the American College of Cardiology, and FESC, Fellow of the European Society of Cardiology, and they are equivalent. Within the framework of European Association, there should be also a declaration on respecting the implementations of scientific ABA in countries where it is not yet available or access to ABA is very limited. Communicating with a national organization before starting a collaboration with a particular center should be taken into account. This is the only way how to prevent paradoxes and confusions in which a foreign, non-certified but yet scientific ABA body will support a homeland pseudo-ABA camp, undercutting our genuine efforts to bring board-certified ABA to our communities. Finally, let me pose one impudent question. It could be very tricky for European Association to find financial resources for all of the above mentioned. So how about applying for a Norwegian grant? Thank you for your time.